I imagine. A college professor caught on tape making politically inflammatory remarks right in the middle of his classroom lecture. Listen to this. Eastern Connecticut State University professor Brent Terry suggesting conservatives are racist and that Republicans will close colleges if they win the midterms.
Racist, misogynist, money-grubbing people have so much power over the rest of us and want things to go back, not to 1955, but to 1855. There are a lot of people out there that say that do not want black people to vote, do not want Latinos to vote, do not want old people to vote or young people to vote. Because generally, people like you are liberal. It's absolutely possible that the Republicans will take over the Senate as well as the House. And we will live in a very, very, very different kind of country if that happens. I mean, colleges will start closing up if these people aren't there voting.
A student submitted that recording to Campus Reform, and now the adjunct professor issuing an apology saying, during my creative writing class yesterday, I allowed my own political opinions to color the discussion. I regret the language I used, and I apologize to any students in the room who were offended. And joining us, Campus Reform Editor-in-Chief Caleb Bonham. And I should know, Caleb, that he apologized after he got caught with his pants down, essentially. He didn't apologize beforehand. But I mean, how did you get this?
Well, to hit the point that you just mentioned, it begs to question, what is he apologizing about? Is he apologizing that he used a captive audience to advance a political ideology? Is he apologizing for getting caught? What is he apologizing for? We see this at campusreform.org quite a bit. We see professors stepping up in front of their class, using their position of influence, and really advancing a narrative to people that are not generally informed politically. This was a creative writing class.
Isn't that college? I mean, you know, does anyone truly think that, you know, what this guy says is going to color someone's political ideology for the rest of us? I mean, you have an exchange of ideas in college, and some are, you know, extreme on both sides.
Well, the exchange of ideas is becoming less and less. We're seeing the same ideas being put before these students time and time again, and it is by radical leftist professors. We're seeing, if you take a look at campusreform.org, it is littered. We have no problem finding stories of liberal bias and abuse on campus.
This could go a little bit farther. I mean, this accuses of Republicans, they don't want black people to vote.
Yeah, conservatives, and this is creating an atmosphere for conservatives in the classroom where they are feeling like, this is why the student that released this video, this audio, is remaining anonymous. I mean, how is he going to be treated to come out as a conservative in an atmosphere where he's called a racist?
Is this something the professor was doing repeatedly? I mean, is this his MO? I mean, I realize this is one day, but what about the other days he
Well, it was enough, apparently, that the student knew that he could whip out a recorder and catch the professor saying something inflammatory. That is something that usually occurs, you know, time and time again after getting beaten out. I mean,
what does the university say?
The university, I don't believe, has come out and made a statement as to this point. The professor, as you mentioned, did, and it is wondering what's going on with what's being taught at our campuses.
You know, he says that it's his ideas. I mean, and these were not like sort of soft ideas. I mean, these were rather, you know, vicious in terms of calling people racist.
These are his ideas, but you hear it time and time again. We released a video earlier this year of a professor at Michigan State University who said the same thing, that Republicans are just trying to limit the vote. They're trying to discriminate against people of color and not allow them to vote. And that is completely false. They are advancing this narrative to people that don't understand politics necessarily. As I said, it's a creative writing class, and that was one heck of a creative lecture.
Indeed. Caleb, thank you. And our political panel is back.